the candy leg of the trip. The NCA will be looking after him for the next few days while we are traveling. We will reassess on the 4th and then take it from there. But signs are looking good, and he's progressing really well. So he'll be unavailable for the first 2 games, but we'll assess, like I said, on the 4th, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Shashank. Normally when you're constantly playing tours and matches, you don't get this kind of time to get together as a group, but when you're slightly away from the city to train and try different things. In that sense, could you just take us through the things that you've been able to try out here? Basically, some of the 6 days that you have.
Yeah, it's been really good to have these 6 days, and like you rightly said, it gets really hard for us, the amount of cricket we are playing, to have camps and to have practice sessions like this. In my 2 sort of 18, 19 months or 2 years that I've been with the team now, probably had a chance to have a couple of small camps with the red ball team, one in South Africa during COVID. We had a few days before the test matches started there, and then we had one in Nagpur before the Australia series started. And actually with the white ball team, this is the first time we've actually been able to have a group camp where everyone has been able to come together. We've had a few days sometimes where we've come in a little bit earlier before matches, but yes, to have this, to have access to these really good facilities, to be able to work on a lot of specific stuff. There was a lot of specific match simulation stuff done over the last 3-4 days. We finished off the session with a net session today, but there was a lot of specific work done, which, like you rightly said, sometimes as you're playing so much, you're traveling so much, it's very, very difficult to do. I really like this because, for me as a coach, it really gives us, as coaches, it gives us an opportunity to really work on some specific things with players, really good play time to have conversations with players about roles, about skills. Sometimes when you get into tournaments or just before games, and you're sort of so keyed up and geared up towards just playing that particular match or that particular tournament, so it doesn't give you that time. So yeah, it's been a really fruitful 4-5 days with us. We've had an opportunity to connect as a group. We've had some chance to do some fitness. There's been some fielding done on the side. A lot of skills with the bat and ball, and really good facilities. I'd really like to thank KSCA and NCA for providing us these facilities, and just the quality that we've had over the last 6 days has been superb.
How happy are you with the return to full fitness of just and Prasid, and also what it does to the pace bowling resources heading into one Asia Cup and then the World Cup? You have the complete pack to choose from.
Yeah, it's great to have them back. Have to have them back and to see them bowling and bowling well is truly good. I mean, obviously, yeah, Jasprit's someone we've missed a lot over the last 2 years. I must say he's not played a lot of games, but it's nice to have him back, and we'll ease him into it, slowly. It was nice for him to get those 4 sort of like the tour of Ireland, both of them to ease in with sort of some 4 overs bowling. And then now gives us a chance in the Asia Cup to build that up and pick that up, and we have a whole month now to build that up before the World Cup as well. So yes, it does gives us more options in the pace bowling department. It gives us an opportunity to have more resources, and especially in a long tournament like a World Cup, you want to have, even if people don't make the final 15, you want to know that there are a couple of guys out there who are fit and who have quality and who you can replace just in case something happens. So just having that full complement to choose from, I think is a really nice thing to have, and it's good to have them back.
You have at least a dozen quality domestic bowlers bowling at the nets. Can you just take us through the thought process of getting them together here for this camp?
Yeah, a couple of things. Firstly, like you rightly said, I mean, just to have that level of quality, of practice that we were looking to simulate, and some of the match simulations that we were looking to work on over the last few days, needed some quality to make it really meaningful and make it more competitive. So that was really good. It was also great from a lot of the for the bowlers as well, to be able to bowl in competitive situations to some of the top batsmen in the country. Also for some of our guys to be able to see what is the sort of talent of bowling that is there around the country and what is available. A lot of these guys are the targeted guys. They are the performing players. Guys who've been with the Indian team before, who've been with the side as well, even just recently. So twofold, like just to get the quality obviously in our practices, but also I think for us as coaches and as players, and Ajit was here for the first couple of days as well, for the selectors as well, to see these bowlers, because it's hard to get them all in one group. And it's tough to, for us to be traveling and watching them play in different places. But then to get them like this together and for us to be able to see them over 3 or 4 days was really good.
Rahul, you spoke about KL, but how has Shreyas also come back from his injury? How has he looked during the camp, considering he's going to be possibly playing at number 4?
Yeah, so he's looked good. He's had no issues, no problems. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with him. He's come in, he's played. It's just now about us giving him game time. I think one of the things that he's missed is actually games and matches, and that's something hopefully we can sort of give him in the Asia Cup and build him up towards the World Cup. But in terms of fitness and in terms of everything, he's done really well in this camp. He's batted a lot. He's fielded. He's ticked all the boxes. Except, of course, the actual game time, which is something that you can only do when we actually play some games and play some practice games. But that's not like the real thing, like international cricket. And fortunately, we've got some games now with this Asia Cup and a few games against Australia to top that up and give him an opportunity to tick that box as well.
How you were speaking about KL not being available, at least for the first couple of games of the Asia Cup. Given the quick turnaround time, matters that leave him in terms of being ready for the World Cup, in terms of really getting good match practice?
So, from our perspective, it's only 2 less games that, the way we are looking at it, it's actually just 2 less games that he's going to miss. It's not, so like I said, we've got some games, both him and Shreyas are in the same boat. He's batting really well. I mean, KL's really playing well, he's keeping well, he's doing everything. It's just a slightly more cautious approach with him, leading into the World Cup. He just needs to, he'll have a couple of match simulations over the course of the next few days, which gives him a little bit of a longer time out there in the middle. And it's, we're hoping that it should be only 2 games that he misses, and then should be available for the later part of the tour in Kandy, where we can again then pick that up. There is an Australia series as well. So I'm not too worried about it. He's an experienced player. Both him and Shreyas have played a lot of cricket. They are very experienced players. And hopefully we can, like I said, just give him the game time after from the Colombo leg.
Hi coach, this team has quite a few leaders in it. Along with Rohit, there's Hardik and Bumrah, and a few led in the past. So do you see this as sort of a healthy core leadership group building, where there's a collective, decision and discussions happening, or do you think it's more clear-cut still with just one person in charge?
No, I think we always have discussions with people, and like you rightly said, it's obviously good to have some experienced players in the group, guys who've led in the past, guys who are leading even now, in some of the teams with the Indian teams, because we've had to rotate quite a lot, and there's been a lot of tours and a lot of cricket happening and a few injuries as well, so which has meant that there's been quite a few captains over the last couple of years, some by design, a lot of it not by design, because just the nature of circumstances that we found ourselves in. But it's good to have. It's good to have that experience. It's good to have that knowledge in the group. And I know that someone like Rohit always dips into a variety of knowledge in the groups that he has. But he, in the end of the day, is the final guy who makes the decisions. But it's always really nice to have that experience, that group, guys who we can lean on when required.
Considering that you're going to be having only 2 tournaments, Asia Cup and the Australia series, would you be looking at more experimentation or just fixing the final piece of the puzzle heading into the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, to be very honest with you, this word experimentation keeps getting thrown around a lot without actually sometimes being thought through, I mean, it's not that we're trying to sometimes experiment for the sake of experimenting. Sometimes there are specific reasons why you have to do certain things. Just to give you an example, the number 4 and 5 spots seem to get discussed and talked about a lot, and it gives the impression that we don't have clarity on who is going to be there. But to be very honest with you, I could have told you 18 or 19 months ago who were the 2 or the 3 candidates who we were looking at for the number 4 or 5 slot. It was always going to be between Shreyas, KL and Rishabh, for those spots right from 18 months ago. If you look back on some of the teams that we picked 18 months ago, there was no doubt in our minds. Obviously, it's unfortunate that all three of them in that position ended up with injuries in the space of 2 months. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? And I don't think nobody can calculate for that, especially with the limited number of games that we had in one-day cricket. You're also focusing on a T20 World Cup or World Test Championship. You're trying to balance all of that out. You're trying to give enough game time to people. And all three of the guys who were sort of pushing for those 2 spots got injured in the space of 3 months, and not small injuries, right? Serious injuries. All three of them have had to go under the knife and haven't had operations. So when that happens, then you have to react to that. Then you've got to try and put other people in those positions, see who can do it, just in case, come a World Cup or come a big event, they are not able to get ready, right? You can't predict. We cannot predict whether they'll 100% get right or not, right? We're all, as we're seeing even now with KL, sometimes you've got to give it a week extra, a week less. These things can happen. So in that situation, then we did try with a few people. We did rotate a few people around, looked at few people. But, it's good to know that at least 2 of the 3 seem to have, got to a point where they've recovered and should be available for us. So that's good to know. But in the meanwhile, when people are not available, you have to try other people and you have to look at other people. So I mean, I think at this point of time, for us, it's really about just giving game time to people and ensuring that, we give them enough opportunities to play in the roles that they're going to play at in the tournament. And that's always been the endeavor.
Fine question.
Rahul, a World Cup at home. Personally, for you, how does that define your legacy as a coach first time of the Indian team?
Oh, I'm not into legacies as a coach or anything like that. It's exciting to play a World Cup at home. I must say that it's going to be, it's really going to be exciting for everyone, for the boys, for the fans. There's going to be a certain amount of pressure associated with it, which is most welcome and which I think we all expect. But also to be able to play in front of your own home crowds, your own fans, is going to be very special for everyone. And we hope we can have a really good tournament. I think we're preparing really well. We're building up really nicely. It's all hopefully coming together nicely with, some of the guys coming back from injury just at the right time for us, and hopefully we can give them a few games and set it up really well. We've thought about this for a long time, this tournament. It's nice that it's finally there at our doorsteps, and we're as well prepared as we possibly can be. There's going to be some really good teams in this tournament. I think that whole thing of, I think that home advantage, especially in the subcontinent now, is got reduced to a large extent over the last 10, 12 years because, people come and play here so much, especially in tournaments like the IPL. You have people here for 2 months getting used to these conditions. So it's going to be a really close tournament. I think it's going to be a tight tournament. We feel confident. We're really excited, looking forward to it. I, as a coach, am really looking forward to it as well. But no, I mean, you don't think about these things as legacy and stuff. That's not really what I think about, and try and stay in the present and try and do the job that I can now and not worry about the future.